So, former Republican Congressman Charlie Dent, what's your take on all this?
My take is this, that these funds have been authorized and appropriated by the Congress. The Congress does not tell the executive these funds are they're not acting in an advisory capacity. This is a command. When the Congress passes an appropriations law, the executive shall spend that money. The executive has very little authority to impound money or even freeze it on a temporary basis. So I think that the Trump administration is in trouble. This action reminds me of the travel ban from the Trump 1, where they issued an executive order, created mayhem at the airports, and it took a while to sort it all out. I feel like that's what's happening right now. And in fact, there's lawyers in Washington, I'm sure, are just salivating right now because everybody's calling their lawyers, and there are going to be lawsuits flying every which way. Who is exempted from this order? Who is not? There's a lot of ambiguity here. We're not sure how pervasive this pause is, but it's wreaking havoc. And so I suspect, the judge's order may have helped, but Congress's authority here is clear in the Constitution. This is an Article 1 authority. The president cannot impound funds.
Bakari, you're an attorney. I don't know if you were listening to Stephen Miller earlier today, but he basically just said he doesn't think that it's constitutional for Congress to mandate that President Trump give a 30-day notice, as the law would require, before he fires inspectors general. And I'm wondering if you think that is emblematic of kind of the Trump administration's posture here. Just, we're going to do what we're going to do, and we'll see if anybody challenges.
I think so. And I think whether or not you're looking at the firing of the inspector generals or this chaos caused by this governmental freeze, you're seeing that Stephen Miller is putting his thumbprint on, the future of what this country looks like. And Project 2025, which people talked about till they were blue in the face, is actually coming to fruition. This is chaos. And I actually applaud Congressman Dent for going back to the Muslim ban, because we were told that this was going to be a different Trump administration, that you weren't going to have the chaos that we saw in the first one. But here we are again.
Funding is being cut off to the center or to parents who need it to help their kids with childcare, to universities that are doing medical research, who are, billing the research institutions like the NIH for the research they're doing, unsure whether they will get a reimbursement. I've got a nonprofit in Virginia that specializes in helping low-income people and seniors apply for Medicaid. Some of their staff are funded by a federal grant. They think those staffers will potentially lose their jobs. Veterans yesterday told me they had been unable to access the VA portal for even getting medical appointments at the VA. And I have a brand new VA clinic scheduled to open in Fredericksburg in February. The opening date is still scheduled, but they believe they're under a hiring freeze and can't hire the staff that they need to serve veterans in that population. This is all real-time worries coming in from Virginians. It is an illegal order. The Budget Act of 1974 and the Constitution basically say that the budget is congressional. It's an Article 1 power. Once we do an appropriations deal and we reach a deal that is signed by the president, the executive has to spend those funds in accord with the budget. The president can't unilaterally decide, no, there's a budget document, but I'm going to ignore it. But, Nicole, I really want to focus on this last thing. What the president is doing is not only illegal, it's not only chaotic and damaging to Virginians, it's betraying a deep insecurity, and let me explain why. As you know, we're working on a budget deal right now. The Republicans kicked the budget to March 14. The president has 2 Republican houses. If he wants to cut the budget, he's got majorities in both houses. He could just work with them to do it the lawful way, reach a budget that matches the Trump priorities over the course of the next 6 weeks. The fact that he's not doing that he's using this illegal unilateral executive strategy, means he doesn't have confidence that the Republican leadership in both houses will go along with the extremity of the actions that he's taking. That should tell us something.
Donald Trump's executive order shutting off government funding for a whole host of programs that impact all Americans is on a very brief hold thanks to a last-minute order from a federal judge. But the order has already detonated and caused a whole bunch of chaos and anxiety. In Connecticut, programs like Head Start, which provides childcare and early education for kids of low-income families and allows parents to not have to choose between working and watching their kids, saw its reimbursement system shut down today. Senator Chris Murphy called out the Trump administration for claiming that cuts would not impact programs that provide assistance to individuals, saying, quote, "Don't believe these people. In Connecticut, the Head Start reimbursement system is shut down. Preschools cannot pay staff and will need to start